Hey, how's it going, guys? This has to be the best smartphone you can pick up for $50 or technically under $50 right now. This is the Moto G Power 5G by Straight Talk Wireless, and it goes for $49.88 on Walmart's website right now. This is a deal, so I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but either way, this is incredible. Now, the only downside and possibly even deal breaker for people is that this is a locked phone. That means you can only use Straight Talk Wireless. That's not to say you can't use the phone outright without activating the plan. So on here it mentions it has a full HD plus LCD 120 hertz display. That's crazy. To see a 120 hertz display on a cheap smartphone like this, I wasn't really expecting that. It says there's a triple camera on the back. I mean, we'll see how the camera quality is. I don't even care about the megapixels anymore. 128 gigabytes of internal storage. That's going to matter to quite a few people. On the back here, it mentions some of the features. I think what's interesting is that this is a MediaTek Dimensity 930, so this might be a pretty solid CPU. Of course, I'm going to have to test it out myself and see how it is. Here's everything that comes in the box, and I'm not really going to go over much more. Inside the box is the Moto G phone right here. I'll put that to the side. Okay, that's interesting. It's not too thick or anything. And it looks like it's pretty big. There's a quick start guide, user guide, a SIM pin, and probably to get to the microSD card tray, as well as a USB-A to USB-C cable and a USB wall outlet. This back here looks pretty nice for a phone. It's got a nice finish. I think it's just plastic at the end of... Yeah, it's just plastic. But it definitely looks a little nicer than others. And it's not too thick or heavy. There's, on the side here, is the microSD card tray. Let me go ahead and open that up. And here it is. MicroSD card slot and the SIM pin, or the SIM, that's already included with it. Anyways, on the bottom, there's a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, a USB-C port, some speakers, or just a speaker grill, power button, volume, keys, and nothing else on the top except for this, which might be a microphone, which is my best guess. And then on the top here, there's a front-facing camera, and I was just checking to see, but I can't really notice the speakerphone. It's like it is up there though, interestingly enough. It's like razor thin, which is interesting. The bezels don't look too thick here. On the bottom, it's like the thickest part. And then on the back is the camera that is protruding a little bit with a flash. Okay, let's see how the camera is here. I know it's not daytime or anything. It looks like the camera's it's not bad. It's pretty decent. It also has some facial recognition. So, taking this picture here, looks like you gotta wait a second for it to take it, and it came out pretty nice. Yeah, it's decent nonetheless. Not too grainy whatsoever. This is probably one of the better cameras that I've seen on a prepaid smartphone of this caliber. And then here's the front camera. It's not bad at all, actually. Yeah, this is a decent camera. I don't think I'd take selfies with it personally, but yeah, it's alright. One thing I'm noticing under the light is that this is prone to catching fingerprints, which is a little disappointing. And the top doesn't really have a notch. It seems like there's just a camera hole and that's it. The rest of it is just a screen. And it doesn't really look or feel too thick in my hands. I can grip it in one hand with my thumb touching the other side. Yeah, these side bezels are really thin. I think it's pretty impressive on a smartphone of this caliber. Out of the box, it seems like there's not too much bloatware here. There is Facebook, which we'll go ahead and try to uninstall. If I even can. Yep, looks like I can uninstall certain pre-downloaded apps like that. And then there's some more stuff here. Really not too much bloatware. It's going to feel like near stock Android, but there is some stuff that Motorola added here. And I do notice the smoothness, the 120 hertz. It's like really smooth until you get to the Google side of things where it kind of lags here a little bit. But nonetheless, it's really nice to see 120 hertz on a smartphone of this caliber. So out of the box, there's 114 gigabytes free out of 128. That's quite a bit. And again, there is that microSD card slot for expansion. It's running Android 13. It has a microSD card slot next to it. Just one thing I'm noticing is that this phone does... So the speaker can be covered with one finger. The audio also emits from the speakerphone here. And that's really nice. That makes it feel a little bit more immersive, which is great. Even if I have it turned around, it still sounds very nice. And by the way, this is the BlueView 4 smartphone that I have right here next to me. This goes for just under 30 bucks, or just about 30 bucks. So this is about half the price than this. And I'll have a link or an annotation for this overview video right here for that smartphone. And I might make a comparison video between the two because they're super cheap, both of them. And so this can play videos at full HD 1080p without any problems. The screen brightness seems all right. This might not be enough to use outside in direct sunlight. This can also play videos at 1080p on any streaming platform because this is made by Motorola, and Motorola has a wideband security of L1. Most other cheap off-branded smartphones can only play videos at 480p on those streaming sites. So this is nice. You don't have to worry about anything in terms of streaming or whatsoever. And in terms of specs, here's what we see on CPU-Z. It's a MT6855 processor, octa-core processor, with a Power VR B-Series GPU, 8256. I've never heard of that one before. And the screen is 6.5 inches with a resolution of 2400 by 1080, giving it a pretty dense 405 ppi or DPI, which is really nice. And there's some more stuff here. I'm not really going to go over everything. On Geekbench, I actually could not run the GPU score whatsoever. It crashed every time I tried it, so I just gave up after a certain point. But the CPU scores were all right. It got around somewhere around 920, and the multi-core score was around 2200. These scores seem relatively low, but it's still not too bad from what I've seen, or compared to what I've seen around this price range. You know, it's hard for me to say that this is still not a good deal at $100 because it still seems great, really smooth and fluid, doing basic tasks. Thanks to that 120 hertz screen, everything just feels a lot more snappy and quick. I'm not noticing as much lag or frame rate drops. 50 is all that much better. First game we're checking out here is Roblox. And the game does seem pretty smooth initially, but it starts to lag a little bit when you start using some moves here and there. I do have it set to the highest graphics, for whatever that's worth, because it is Roblox. But overall, you can play Roblox on here, simply put. Let me just do a normal punch. Try to get onto a fight, just to show, yeah. Might notice a little slowdowns here and there. I guess I'm stuck. Next game is RuneScape. And here are the settings that it's set to. I think everything's at the lowest settings, or as low as I could go. The only thing that's enabled is the FPS display that can be viewed up here. And the game looks pretty decent. At the lowest settings, I'm getting about 40 frames. Okay, so I guess it's fair to say that this game is not really playable. Just from walking around, it starts to drop quite a bit. The GPU is not that great on here. You can do some light gaming at best. That's the limiting factor. Here are the plans that I got from the website directly. And that's after I activated this phone, or I was in the process of it. So it starts at showing $45 a month or $55 a month with Walmart Plus membership included. That's an interesting deal because I can't remember exactly how much Walmart Plus costs. But it seems like a lot of stuff that you don't really need. So I wouldn't really worry about that. But it is actually a decent, interesting deal, I'd say. 100 gigabytes of cloud storage. It's not too much because Google Photos is like, what, 200 gigs per year for $30 annually. So take that into consideration. One thing that's kind of nice is international calls to Canada and Mexico. So if you're going to Canada or Mexico a lot, then these plans might be worth considering. There's more plans down here. I don't think I'm going to go through every single one, but the bronze one might be something that I'd consider. It looks like every plan has data for Canada and Mexico. Extended silver and unlimited. Okay, these are like the bulk plans you can buy, like 6-month plan, 1-year plan. I will say that when it comes to plans, it would be nice if they had a cheaper option, but I guess that's why you're getting a cheap phone. They're kind of like subsidizing this phone in a way so that you would get one of their plans and they'd probably make their money back that way. I use Mint Mobile, and I just paid for my annual fee, which was I think about $200 after taxes and fees, or before that it's $180 for one whole year. It's like 5 gigabytes of data, unlimited talk and text. 5 gigs might not be that much to you. They have other plans that go all the way up to like 25 or 35 bucks a month, and that's like unlimited everything. So, take that how you will. Going back to it all, this phone is nice. I think it's definitely something I would consider if I was in the market for this. The storage space is pretty good. The performance is pretty solid for non-gaming. In terms of gaming, it's still acceptable if you want to play some light gaming here and there, like Solitaire, Uno, whatever, all the way up to Roblox, I'd say. Some light 3D gaming there too. And this is one of the only phones at this cheap price point where you can play Netflix at like full HD 1080p and other streaming platforms. So that's also something worth considering. So yeah, either way, I'd like to know your thoughts down below. And leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more, as I'll be checking out more of these smartphones in the near future. Thanks for watching.